This is Mike Sokol from RV Electricity, and welcome to my new podcast series on the latest technologies for your RV. Today I have Eric Foellmer from XL on the line. XL is the company performing the plug-in hybrid upfit on the new Ford F-150 pickup trucks. So is a hybrid or all-electric RV going to be available anytime soon? Let's talk to Eric and find out. Eric, welcome to RV Electricity Podcast. Thanks so much for taking the time to discuss this timely topic.
Thank you, Mike. It's a pleasure to be here.
So please tell us a little bit about the plug-in hybrid Ford F-150. I understand this is an aftermarket conversion built by your own company, XL.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So we make an aftermarket plug-in technology that turns standard Ford F-150 pickup trucks into plug-in hybrid electric versions of those vehicles. So it's primarily designed for municipal and utility fleets as well as commercial applications, but essentially for commercial and municipal fleet applications that want to reduce increase their fuel economy and reduce their emissions. So it's a great way to get additional miles per gallon and to reduce the carbon emissions that those vehicles are producing. So with our upfit on a standard Ford F-150, we can see an increase in MPG of up to 50% and a reduction in CO2 emissions by a third, about 33%.
Excellent. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. So it's just a great way to save money and increase your sustainability if you're a commercial or a municipal fleet manager.
Good. So what exactly is a plug-in hybrid vehicle compared to a regular hybrid or an all-electric vehicle?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there's a lot of definitions depending on the type of propulsion that a vehicle will run by. And I'll tell you what our definition is. There are some consumer vehicles, for example, that may look at this a little bit differently, where a plug-in hybrid might run for a short period of time on an all-electric propulsion and then switch over to gas when it runs out of electricity. We take a little bit of a different approach. We never actually take over the entire propulsion of the vehicle. So we provide an electric assist when the vehicle is accelerating, and then we use regenerative braking to capture energy when the vehicle is slowing down or when the vehicle engages its brake. And the rationale for that is it's those periods of time where the vehicle is running at its least efficient operation. So we are providing the benefits of an electric assist. We're helping to push the vehicle along as it's accelerating, and then we store that energy as it's decelerating. So we never actually take over the full propulsion of the vehicle. We just simply provide an assist, which gives us those MPG improvements and those CO2 reduction emission improvements.
So interestingly, if it will provide regenerative braking, I'm assuming this will almost act a little bit like an exhaust brake on a vehicle if you're coming down a hill, correct?
Yes, it's sort of in terms of the experience that the driver feels, they really don't even know what's happening. The best way to describe it is that it sort of feels a little bit like shifting the vehicle into a lower gear. And so there's a residual effect where the brake maintenance and the brake pads are not stressed quite as much either. It actually helps to extend the life of the braking system as well. And there are some residual service benefits along with that. But we're storing energy throughout that time, which is nice. So the driver doesn't even really have to do anything differently or drive differently or operate the vehicle any differently than they would a standard gas-powered engine version of that vehicle. So to them, it's seamless, and at the same time, they're increasing their MPG, they're increasing their fuel economy and reducing their overall emissions. So it's very seamless from the driver's perspective.
Now, we already talked a little bit about, does this technology improve the gas mileage over a regular gasoline-powered truck, and by how much? But does it increase the towing capacity compared to an all-gasoline version of your truck?
So interestingly enough, it doesn't actually impact the towing capacity at all. So whatever types of towing capacity you have on whatever vehicle that it is installed on, it's going to be the same. So it's not going to negatively impact it and not necessarily going to positively impact it as well. We do provide an additional 220 foot-pounds of additional torque into the acceleration process, but the primary purpose for that is to really boost the acceleration or assist with the acceleration without having to run the engine as hard. So it's not necessarily designed to increase the towing capacity of the vehicle, although we are providing that additional boost during the acceleration process. So that's primarily what it's designed for, but it does not negatively impact the towing in any way, which is nice. That can sometimes be the case for an all-electric or alternative fuel vehicle. Might impact some of the towing capacity of some of those vehicles, and that's not the case for ours.
So it looks like you're aiming at the delivery fleet market for now, but do you foresee a day when a plug-in hybrid or all-electric vehicle could be used to tow an RV trailer?
Yes, we actually could do that today. So, to my point about not impacting the vehicle towing capacity at all. If you have a vehicle that can tow an RV trailer today, and it is upfit with our system, then you're still going to be able to tow that trailer, post installation. So, but you're absolutely right. It is designed. Our systems are primarily designed for the commercial and municipal fleet market. So not just package delivery and last mile delivery, although that certainly is a huge application for us. We're also in all sorts of different commercial utility vehicles, working for electric utilities, for gas utilities, really any sort of a class 2 through 6 truck with a variety of accessories on it, a variety of applications. There really is a broad scope for what we are designed to support.
Very good. So what do you see as the largest challenge to building an all-electric RV motorhome, even a small one like a Class B Sprinter van? All electric, not hybrid.
Yeah, the two primary impediments to that are really kind of across the board for all different types of EVs, but specifically for the RV market, the two challenges that you're going to come up against are really battery cost. The size and the expense of a battery that has enough power to operate an RV over an extended period of time will be pretty significant. And then the second challenge, which is equally daunting, is the current level of infrastructure, charging infrastructure within the United States would be difficult to support an all EV version of a recreational vehicle, largely because those vehicles are often traveling, by their nature, they're traveling to, remote areas in a lot of cases, or they're traveling long distances. So having the infrastructure in place to ensure that there's a place to charge them regularly and make sure that they are, at full capacity or enough capacity to get you to point A to point B, is a challenge for that industry as well. So that's a big part of why we focus specifically on the plug-in hybrids and the hybrid electric vehicles.
And you're right. It's with every vehicle out there. Everyone keeps asking me, when am I going to have my all-electric truck? And, by the way, when am I going to have my flying car? And and I keep saying it's coming quicker than you think, but don't get out your checkbook just yet.
Right. The good news is we are absolutely headed in that direction. So there are definitely measures being taken at the federal and certainly the state level right now that are helping to drive infrastructure improvements and advancements to support an all EV fleet. But those are, you're still talking about decades away before we are there as a nation to have full coverage across the country to where we'd be able to reliably support, an all EV type of a fleet situation. But we are absolutely getting there, and everyone in the clean tech space and certainly in the EV space is rooting for that, and it is definitely happening. It's going to be a process that happens over time.
So where can I see one of these hybrid trucks, and when can I buy one?
Well, you can buy them today, and you can see them at your Ford dealer. If you are a commercial fleet, you have access to a Ford commercial dealer, and that's primarily where those vehicles are sold through. You can also contact XL at xlfleet.com, and we can help steer you in the right direction to where you could buy them in your area. But they are installed at professional installation locations throughout the country. But we work very closely with Ford, where we were the first EQVM certified electrification partner for Ford. So we work very closely with them on the development of our products. The installation of our products is all approved and understood by Ford, and it does not affect the OEM Ford warranty at all. So that's an important point to make too, is when you're thinking about your service, your ability to service these vehicles, we are not disrupting the service schedule, the maintenance schedule, or anything having to do with the warranty of the Ford vehicle, because our system goes in post-transmission. So there's nothing that we disrupt from the engine, the transmission, the drivetrain. We are all post-transmission, and it really helps to be a more parallel system with what Ford has already developed.
And so I'm curious, is there anything that you have to do to the tuning on the engine control module to take advantage of this extra boost? I'm guessing a little tweak here and there, maybe?
No, we actually have a control unit that is part of our system that handles all of the decisions, if you will, for when it's storing energy and when it's transferring energy. So there's a motor drive that sits under the chassis of the vehicle, which controls all of that. So it's not taking over or disrupting anything that the factory Ford vehicle is doing on its own. So we kind of take over what our system does, but we're not controlling anything about what the Ford vehicle is doing. And that's part of what I mean when I say it's a parallel system to what Ford has engineered.
Okay, so anything else you can tell our listeners about the future of electric vehicle technology?
I would say, it is advancing all the time, and it's an exciting time to be a part of this industry, because we really are headed towards an all EV type of environment over time, and our technologies really provide the bridge for companies and municipalities who are looking to electrify their fleet today, but have been withheld from some of the limitations on cost or charging infrastructure that have prevented them from electrifying their fleet in the past. Our vehicles are providing a bridge to get some of those EV benefits today without having to go all EV yet, and move their fleet forward and provide sustainable value to their fleet without having to worry about completely changing their operations or their driver behavior.
So Eric, thanks so much for your time. This has been great. We've all learned a lot, but now I want a plug-in hybrid vehicle. I really do. If I could talk Ford out of one of these F-150 plug-in hybrids, I'll drive it around the country to all my RV electricity seminars in 2019. We can only hope. This has been Mike Sokol for RVelectricity.com. Thanks for watching and listening.